Okay, so welcome everybody for the second day of Pali Dhamma Vichaya. Are you now experts on Pali? Yeah, you need only 2 days to learn Pali, yeah. But for Sanskrit, you have to learn a long time. Dvadashabir varshai vyakarnang shruyate, yeah. So you have to learn Sanskrit for Dwadasha, 12 years, you see?
12
Yeah,
years.
12 years, yeah.
Only for grammar.
Just the grammar. Just imagine what, Sanskrit is a difficult language, isn't it? So, are you teaching these days, Bhante?
Yes, sir. But tomorrow strike.
Oh,
Lecturers.
lecturers.
Lecturers strike. But
Oh,
I do
very good,
online
very good,
because
very
I
good.
have to cover.
Yeah, yes. So, okay, until whoever else is joining, let's just go around again once more to just say hello to everybody. So we have Venerable is it Deepavansa, yeah? Deepavansa.
Deepaloka.
Deepaloka. Sorry. Deepaloka. But he doesn't mind us calling him Tofu, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. So have you been a monk for long?
Yes, I've been among for more, I think like 12 years now.
12 years.
Yeah, 12 years now.
Oh wow.
Since I was 17 years old until now, yet.
Wow.
No, almost like 30.
Oh. Yeah, you don't show your age.
But it's actually my age now, like 30 years old.
Oh wow. So would you just introduce yourself and what you study and what's your background, what's your interest? So why you want to learn Pali? Just in few words.
Yes. So hello everybody. So my name is Tofu, and I'm currently study in Sri Lanka, and my major is Pali and Buddhist study, and I'm in second years of this major, and I'm also interested into study Pali more because I want to read directly into the Buddha words from the Bali text, and
Yeah.
that's also the main reason why I'm coming to this course today. And very thank you from Bhanthe Visita, because he's the one that's who introduced me this course, and also from teacher here that give me a chance to attend here today, and I'd love to see you guys here.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's very nice to meet you, Venerable. Yes. So you're specializing in Pali and Buddhist studies at California,
Yes.
yeah?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is there any particular area of Pali that you are more interested in, or just general?
I think in all of from Pali.
Oh, okay. Everything. Yes. So I mean, when you do honors, you have to do a, do you have to
Like
do a
in
thesis?
every field from Pali, it's not in just on particular from single one, but in everything.
Okay, very good. So, how are you, Venerable Dhammarathana? Are you well?
Yes, sir. I'm doing as well.
Okay, you look like you just woke up. You know.
No, I wake up 4 a.m. today. Very
4
busy.
a.m.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we went to the Sri Lankan Independence Day ceremony. Yesterday
Oh,
it was very busy.
okay. Yeah, so you're celebrating
Yeah.
independence. Okay, very good.
Today
Okay.
you are in my magazine. Our
Wow,
professor.
I'm in your magazine.
Yeah.
Gosh, what's your magazine? Oh,
Send
what?
me send me your address. I can mail.
Okay. So you're doing a magazine in the US, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Our
What
Sri
is it for?
Lankan American Association, we have a group. They arrange good magazine. And,
Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay. Lovely to see you all. As we started last week, we actually didn't do much, only just a little discussion as to why we study Pali. Um, you know, and also we discussed like the issues with translating Pali into other languages. And so if you wanted to sort of go back to the lesson, you could just go to our YouTube. It's already in YouTube. Venerable Dhammarathana is always putting us on YouTube. Yeah. So later on we will be famous, discussing Pali. So yeah, so we brought up few issues like translation issues actually. And was there anything that intrigued you, or anything that puzzled you, anything you would like to ask before we start, or everything is crystal clear to you? Yes.
yeah.
No questions. Okay, so I'll just sort of remind you like what we want to do in this class. We learn Pali, and we learn Pali by jumping in the deepest end. So what it really means is we learn Pali through reading sutras, because Pali is not a colloquial language. It's not a spoken language. It's actually just for the purpose of reading. Though some scholars actually, they speak, Pali, when as and when they want to communicate. I know few monks in Sri Lanka, or few scholars in India who actually very fluently speak Pali. But it's very rare to find somebody who speak Pali, fluently, because it's never meant to, speak. It's not a colloquial language. Are you familiar with the word colloquial? Colloquial is, yeah, it's like a language which is spoken. Now, say for example, there are languages like Sanskrit, Greek. I mean, of course, Greek has different two versions, isn't it? Yeah. So ancient or classical languages are mainly just spoken, not just written, but no colloquial form, no spoken form as such. So therefore, that's why they don't actually grow. Whereas languages like, I mean, spoken languages like English or Dutch or Sinhala, or, those languages which are spoken, they have the colloquial version, which is quite different from the written version. I mean, it is not so with some languages, but let's say language like Sinhala, for example, it looks like completely two different languages, isn't it? The spoken variety versus the written. Yeah. So now these therefore can be called functional languages. Like, there's a purpose, function. Usually it is the one, I mean, Pali is the language which is kind of exclusively to pass down or carry the message of the Buddha. Yeah. So in that respect, it's actually it's a unique language, isn't it? Yeah. So what do you think it does to the language? And because it's not being spoken for other reasons. I think this relates to the question that Vijay was asking last time. Yeah. Is it a language which doesn't have bad words, So because it stays static, so to speak. It stays where it is, as opposed to a language is spoken, like English, for example. I mean, nearly about 200 new words enter into English language every day, they say. Yeah, so any living language is different in that respect. So in that respect, it makes it easier for anyone to learn a language like Pali, because it is not changing that much. Yeah, do you agree? Yeah. Okay. So that's why, I mean, if you really spend bit of time, like say within 2-3 months, you should be able to learn the language fairly well. Yeah, it's not that hard. So, but I can't promise that this class will teach you or make you a fluent, person in Pali. But I can promise you one thing: you will actually develop some interest, yeah, in learning Pali. So again, few other nuts and bolts about the course. I send you some notes, yeah, so you don't have to worry about notes in this course, because it's whatever we cover, so it will come in the form of some notes. We pick out some themes, and then discuss those themes. That's how we do it. Okay. Yeah. So let's start. Oh, okay. Another thing I wanted to draw your attention to was that we actually use what's the textbook that we are using? Are you familiar with that?
It's a new course in Pali or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. It's called New Course in Pali. Let me actually put this up here. Okay, just hold on. Yeah. So you may have seen this actually. Yeah. Have you seen this book before at all? Yeah. A New Course in Reading Pali. This is actually, we taught a Pali course at Cornell University in New York. So James W. Gare, so Professor Gare, and these are like two professors, Professor Karunathilake from Sri Lanka. They actually put together this course. What's really good about this course is you can get a PDF version of this. Yeah. Okay. Bhante Deepaloka. Yeah. Can you read? Yeah. Can you read these letters? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukheta tatta.
Oh, very stata. Sab.
Sukhitatta.
Yeah. Sukitata. Yeah. Sabbe satta. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukitata. So, Micah, do you understand what it means? No. Okay. Yeah. Now this is kind of this is a very common statement. It's kind of a wish. It's part of the metta bhavana. Yeah, in the metta bhavana, you see, may all beings be well. Yeah, sabbe means all. Satta, beings. Bhavantu, or become be. Sukhitatta, sukhitatta. May all beings be well. Yeah. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Okay, so if you would like to learn bit of background about the language, I would really recommend reading this. There's a really good introduction to Pali language. That's not the introduction. So and this actually come in few different parts. So you could leisurely read about the language. Yeah. What this text is, how this is actually designed, and I mean there are many opinions about Pali, like if it is the language which was used by the Buddha, or was it a language close to Magadhi, which may be a different version, Prakrit, and etc., etc. So there's a bit of discussion about it. And there's also some pronunciation. Yeah. Alphabet, if you really would like to learn learn about the Pali alphabet, the vowel system, the consonants, because there's a immediately you can see there's a kind of a the disparity in the vowel system. You don't have the long A or O. You have long R, long E, long U, but no long A or O. Okay, so every time you say A, Evang me sutan, you never have Evang. Yeah, you actually write Evang, but you say Evang. Yeah. Openaika, always O is low. Always this, although it is written short, it is pronounced O. Okay, so there are certain things about the language. So let's make a start. I mean, just sort of showing through the text. It's beautifully written. I mean, both are really good scholars. They are my teachers too. So I was really proud to be part of these two teachers, Professor Gare and Professor Kariyakarawana. So, and what is really good about this text is it actually uses the way in a kind of a linguistic way. So what I really mean by that is let me actually see, the language can be learned for language purpose, like to learn the language. Or language could be used to learn the content. So, for example, translation purposes and so on. But the Pali language is mostly learned for one single unitary purpose. So, what is that purpose in learning Pali? Yeah. What's the why does anyone learn Pali at all? Yeah, it is enter into the words of the Buddha. It's to understand the message of the Buddha. Right? So there is no other, I mean, of course you can learn, but anything or everything is connected to Buddhism. So you can't actually learn astrology, or you can't learn history. Oh, well, you might be able to learn Buddhist history by learning Pali, but the sole purpose is Buddhism, learning different aspects of Buddhism. So there are many Pali scholars around the world. There are actually scholars in the East, scholars in the West, scholars in Sri Lanka, scholars in different parts of the world, very famous ones. Who comes to your mind when you actually think of Pali? Any name comes to your mind as a Pali scholar?
living scholar. Past.
Oh, a very famous one. I'm not talking about myself, you know. I'm not a Pali scholar. Okay?
Gunapala Malalasakara, Lily the Silva,
Yeah,
W.
there's been actually, yeah, many Pali scholars like Professor Lili de Silva, Malasekar in Sri Lanka. And in the Western, yeah, Western world,
Like Thomas Obalis.
yeah,
Thomas Thomas Obelius.
Obelius. I can't remember his name. Yeah. So what did he do? What did he do?
Just write about the Bali a grammar. A grammar is just
Oh,
kind of like
Pali grammar.
grammar.
Okay.
Yeah, Bali grammar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
You know, many, there are many scholars who've done Pali grammar.
Chris Davis.
Yeah, Rhys Davids, A.K. Warder, you know,
welcome.
Sorry, German scholar. What's the famous name?
William German. We have
Geiger.
Geiger.
Wilhelm. Yeah.
William Geiger.
Wilhelm Geiger. Yeah, Geiger. Geiger is a kind of a grammarian. He studies, you know, all grammars and Monio William. Now, you know, the best Pali dictionary was done by somebody called Monio William. I can show you that it's a very thick book, really, you know, big volume. So there have been many scholars like that, both in the West, East, and also in Netherlands as well. You know, there have been many Pali scholars. Yeah, yeah. You don't know their names. Yeah. Was it von? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah. Honiba. Yeah, von Honiba. Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay.
I don't know many teachers in Buddhist
yeah.
studies, so
okay, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. So there have been actually many Pali scholars in the past. Actually, good old days, there were more scholars than even today. But currently, there are few Pali scholars. Stephen Collins at you know, and I think he's at Chicago, and then there was one in, at Harvard, at Temples. You know, few Pali scholars as well. So I mean, here the Sanskrit and Pali scholar Richard Gombrich. Yeah, you may have heard of him. Yeah. Richard Gombrich at Oxford, and yeah, few scholars here as well. But I mean, the great translator of the Pali canon is none other than Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi, isn't he? Yeah, Bhikkhu Bodhi. As I said, I mean, he's the marathon translator because he just I don't know how he manages to translate so much. Yeah, so there is some, you know, really good background in learning Pali, and I think it would be better. This new Pali course actually talks about a little bit of background of the Pali grammar, and not so much about this Pali scholarship. So what I really wanted to tell you was Pali can be studied from a linguistic point of view or literature point of view. So the linguistic point of view is like those who are really, you know, want to learn the language and the history of language, or it could be, historical linguistics. Those who learn historical linguistics will learn Sanskrit, Pali, like Venerable Vijitasiri, who is a kind of, multi linguist. Yeah. So yeah. So there are these, the scholarships and so on. So in this course, what we also would like to do is to get a taste of Pali chanting, recitation, especially in the Western world, there is something called, spiritual caregiving. I mean, this is normally done by the Eastern side only by monks. Okay, so the monks are the only spiritual caregivers. Yes, is that the case? Yeah, you have to be a monk to be able to chant and this and that. But in the Western world, monks are very rare commodity, very hard to find, So we don't have that many monks, and we don't know, whether the monk population will go up or down or what, So the lay people also learn for that reason. They actually train to be what we call chaplains. Chaplains. You know what chaplains? Chaplaincy? They call it, I mean, this is a term mainly coming from the Christian background. So the chaplain is the one who is kind of providing spiritual support and care, what they call pastoral care. Yeah. So now, now I have been kind of a chaplain, providing spiritual care to my armed forces Buddhist personnel. So I look after about 6,000 serving members in the British Armed Forces. Yeah. So you can imagine I'm a kind of a busy man. Yeah, going around, and now tomorrow I will be in the military university. Yeah, giving lectures to soldiers and all these tri-service personnel, Air Force and Army and so on. So anyway, so this is I mean they're also becoming more and more interested in learning the Buddha Dharma. Not simply as an academic exercise, but also they are interested in finding out what is this message of the Buddha. How can we really know the authentic message of the Buddha? because sometimes when a message comes through over time, it can be kind of adulterated, change. Yeah. So last time we talked about the Buddha Sasana has three aspects to it: the text, context, and realization. Yeah. Did you still remember? Do you remember those words? Yeah. So can one of you actually remind me what those are?
Hariyati.
Yeah,
Hariyati.
one of those were pariyatti sasana. Yeah. So pariyatti is actually the textual tradition, and the second sasana is called pati. Yeah, pati. And that is actually, I would actually translate it as the kind of context, text and the context, meaning practice. People actually generally patipatti is kind of a practice, yeah. And the third one is called Pati Veda. Yeah, Pati Veda is kind of, come to realize, so realization. Yeah. Now, these were like so pariyatti, it is the message. So the message, the patipatti is always influenced by the message. And then whatever your understanding, your realization is in turn is influenced by your practice. Yeah. Are you with me so far? And that is where we stopped last time. Okay. Yeah. So and so the question was what, how do we know we have really got the right text? If you got the wrong text, you end up in a wrong practice, and you end up in a wrong everything. And it's only only if you get the text right, then your practice is going to be right, and you come to the right realization, and then you have realized that, right? Are you with me so far? So please stop me if I'm sort of going too fast or too slow, and tell me, okay? I'm still really trying to find the right gear for you. Okay. All right. So, so therefore, studying the text properly is quite important. Yeah. And also putting that in the right context is quite important as well. Yeah. And let me tell you why. Okay. Let me tell you why. Okay. So, I'm going to write a sentence here, and you tell me what it really means. Can you read my letters? No? Okay, it's not clear. Let me write it better. Okay.
Like a woman without her man is nothing, right?
Yeah. Woman.
Without her man.
Oh, hold on, Bhante. First read it. Okay. What does this sentence actually mean? What does it mean? How do you read it? Okay, let's ask Vijay. How do you read it?
Yeah, I think woman without her man, without her, man is nothing.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
oh,
So where would you punctuate it? Where would you punctuate it?
I punctuate after her,
Okay.
comma.
Okay. Woman without her, man is nothing. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean in the class, this sentence was written in a class, and female students exactly read like the way you actually read. Okay. Whereas the male students actually put the comma in a different place. Yeah, not here. And do you get a different reading now? uh, yeah. So, you see, and there was something like this as well. Trotsky actually wrote, Lenin wrote a letter to Trotsky, and at the end of his letter, he actually wrote this sentence. He said, you are right. Yeah. So actually in the original letter, what does this mean? You are right, I am wrong. What does it really mean? So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? It says, you are right, I'm wrong. So that is an acknowledge, you are acknowledging that that person is wrong. But actually that is what Trotsky meant was exactly opposite. Exact opposite. The opposite was, do you think you are right, I am wrong? Yeah. So what if I actually raise the intonation? You are right, I'm wrong. Now that's one type of intonation. Now that is actually falling intonation. Whereas in the other one, do you think you are right, I'm wrong? Don't think you are right, I am wrong. Do you understand? Yeah. So the meaning of a sentence you really can't tell without looking at the context, isn't it? You really have to, know the context before you are able to, because no linguistic form has its own original meaning. Yeah, it depends on the context. Yeah. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, the point I wanted to make was this. I mean, without really looking at the proper context, a text cannot be interpreted. Yeah. So because no text has a proper meaning without the right context, and this is more so when we are reading actually historical books, texts, etc. We really don't know. Yeah, and that's why, remember last week we talked about some of the translations can be really misleading. Yeah. So therefore this is why we really need to start reading the text properly. Yeah. So this particular text actually starts with salutations to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and then develops slowly and taking the context into consideration. Yeah. So now I think all of you can read this text, right? Now let's actually see if you can really read some of these texts. Are you okay to read this text, Micah?
To read it aloud, you mean? Or
Yeah.
I can try.
yeah, of course. Yeah, nothing like trying.
Well, I don't know. Buddham
Yeah.
Saranam Gacchami.
Yeah.
Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
Yeah.
Sangam
Yeah.
Saranam Gacchami.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's very good. Okay. Now this is the age to the Buddha. Now, usually, how one becomes a Buddhist is by taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, right? So, they, usually we read, repeat this, 3 times. So Dutiyampi is like for the second time, yeah? And the Tatiyampi is for the, 3rd time. So, and one thing you need to actually pay attention is to the fact that the aspiration. Now, let me actually get to my text here, because I may not be able to write on this text. Okay. Now I have actually, sent you a text like this. And so basically, I've sort of put some, little, so the readings I do in this class, and then I always start off with salutation, paying homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Yeah. But let's give me 1 second. Okay, so this is recollection of the Buddha. Yeah, recollection of the, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Now these are this is a meditation practice as well. So before we say, Buddhaṃ Saranam Gacchāmi, we also do, pay we do this. Sorry. Yeah. Now this is called actually, you know, paying homage to the Buddha. Yeah. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So let me just get to. Sorry. Yeah, no, I think this is kind of missing some text here. So what I really wanted to show you was when you actually say Buddham, you have actually you know, you have two D's here, the versus the. Yeah. Now this is called aspirated sound, aspiration, like Buddha, the. In Pali language, this is giving different meaning. Yeah. So therefore you have to really pronounce the aspiration. Now this is with a puff of air, extra additional puff of air, Buddha, not Buddham, yeah, but Buddham. Saranang gacchami. Cha versus cha. Yeah. So these are, you know, called aspirated sounds. Yeah. So you know, when you actually say the Pali words, the aspiration is a minimal contrast. It contrasts the meaning. So therefore, we need to learn to actually say the aspiration, right? Buddham, not Buddhang. Saranang, gacchami. So some people say gacchami, gaccha, cha, yeah? So now all that is discussed in the Pali text. And if you go back to your text, you can read the glory details, like, you know, how these are actually pronounced, the pronunciation. It's really important to learn, you know, how to pronounce. Okay, very good. Any questions so far? No? No question? Okay, okay. So, yeah, you know, we're going a little slow because I'm sure for Bhanthe City, this is actually boring, too boring for you, yeah? No? No. Okay. Is it too boring for you, Bhanthe? Yeah? Tofu?
Not really, no.
No. And you don't seem to be sleepy either, because this must be actually midnight for you, right? Yeah. Okay. So what we normally do, we take a short break. We take a short break after about 1 hour. And if you want to take a short break now, do you want to take a short break now? 10 minutes, or just you want to carry on for another half an hour? Yeah. You okay to go? Yeah, usually Sri Lankans, we say this, yeah.
Yeah. But no.
Yeah. Yes, this is no. This is either yes, no, no. Okay. Okay.
Flexible for all, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yes. You may notice, Micah, when you go to Sri Lanka, you will see, if you ask something, they will.
Like even
Huh?
even they say yes or no, they always say like this. And people always confused that whether they say yes or not.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. Bhanthe Dhammarathana, is it yes or no? Or yes and no?
Oh, yes.
Always yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. So Bhanthe Dhammarathana is a great monk who does a lot of beautiful chanting. Yeah. And he's so famous for that. And I think he's born with a special talent to chant. Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Yes. So you enjoy chanting, right?
I'm enjoying chanting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So, I mean, it is.
Short blessing right now.
Yeah. we always want a blessing from you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to give us a blessing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor our Sunil Kariyakarawana sir, and our Dhamma friends. I make a wish. May the triple gem blessings be with you. Today my prayers, special gatha, we call Ratnamala Bandhane. Sansara sarog vinitani sangnita satang suci saradi sangdera kang son tanu pala sanglap desing Paname bhi sang Sangsabhighang kevala mohana sangnahakang marrane visesang Sangsevitang dasi mudarha sanghar dhammang Paname sada sangdasagang na sita papna sangnapadhang sing Hat ghor pasang Sangpargaming suci sarvasang Sangvar sanghang Paname rasasang. We all have the courage, determination, wisdom and love and caring for each other to face and overcome the this time corona some countries pandemic. May all be well, happy and peaceful. Sabbe satta sukhino bhavantu. Say sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, wonderful. Isn't that really lovely? Yeah, very good. Bhanthe is such a
You're
special
welcome, sir.
chanting monk. Yes. And one thing I wanted you to notice is when you chant, if a person is chanting with an attention, special attention to the meaning or not. Now that's why the way you pronounce, the way you actually divide the syllables, you can tell whether the person really understands the meaning or not. So, therefore, these monks actually from a very young age, they develop that skill of chanting. Yeah. So it doesn't naturally happen because, it's a long, and I think it's, in some ways, it really connects with your past lives as well, because I wonder, sometimes how they naturally, pronounce the words. There was a little boy, he was just actually, when he was 2 years or so, he was just chanting sutras. Maybe from the previous, lives. But anyway, so it's the world needs a lot of blessings at the moment, especially in countries like Turkey and Syria and other places, isn't it? Yeah. It's really shocking to see so many people suffering. Just imagine if you were under those rubbles for 2-3 days. Yeah, just being pulled out from all these rubbles. It's even very young children, So let's wish and hope, they get some solace and some, help and support reach them. Yeah. So, sometimes you really, only thing you can do from far away is to wish them well, of course, there are these good people really go and support and do what they can, but there is always a limit to what you can do. So the Buddha, in the Buddhist tradition, there is this very vibrant tradition of wishing well for others. Yeah, it's not just simply wishing for just Buddhists, but whoever the sabbe satta, all beings, all beings are not just simply Buddhists, So that's really very important, isn't it? And now they have found if you develop that attitude of what is it called? Loving kindness towards others, your altruism, it can really trigger some parasympathetic nervous system in your brain, yeah. Isn't that really incredible? Like through that meditation of loving kindness, you can really activate lot of good vibes within you, and it's really good for yourself as much as others. Yeah. And the opposite is also true, or the opposite. If you get really upset and angry and frustrated, it can really affect your system. Yeah. Are you familiar with this? What's happening in the nervous system? Yeah. It's fascinating, isn't it? It's really fascinating. So This is what, I mean, this is so very connected to the chanting practice. You know, the chanting, I have heard some people say, you know, they don't understand a word of Pali, but still they love to listen to that. Yeah. And that's something really very interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break and come back in after 10 minutes. Is that okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Just get a cup of tea and come
Okay,
back.
sir.
Sorry to
Enjoy
keep
the
you
coffee.
awake, Bhanthe, but you, yeah, you can have a cup of coffee to keep you
Yeah.
awake. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to actually pause the
I'm
recording.
enjoying the coffee. Morning
Oh,
coffee. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So what we hope to do, I mean, now basically, we want to start reading some sutras, Pali sutras, so that you will be subconsciously learning Pali and learning Dhamma at the same time. Yeah. It's a kind of a buy one get one free. Yeah. So yeah, so it is, you know, it is mostly Pali's, you know, is a subconscious learning. There are now how many sutras are there in the Pali canon, roughly? You want to count them? I can give you. Yeah, nowadays you can actually go to the internet and just pretty much read any sutra, you know. It's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah. So my favorite, I don't know what, I mean, if you want to read a sutra, I don't know what your favorite place to read sutras is, but mine is this one. Let me show you. Yeah. So you may have your own actually place where you could go to, and now you could actually, this is called Chatta Sangayana. Yeah. So you could actually read in Sinhala, read in English, read, what language? Is it Burmese or? This is definitely Thai, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. This
Burmese
may
and
be,
Thai. Burmese.
this may be Burmese, yeah. So you can actually read in any sort of language. You know, you could actually go to any of the Pitakas. Now, if you want to, you know, read the long discourses, it's called Digha Nikaya, and the middle length discourses, Majjhima Nikaya. And if you know, this is called connected discourses, Sangyutta Nikaya. This is numerical discourses. And the Khuddaka Nikaya is kind of, you know, it's a kind of miscellaneous, different sutras. And this is the Sutta Pitaka. And then Abhidhamma Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, you know, you could read pretty much. Now, you know, if you go to Majjhima Nikaya, you can actually, you know, start reading any sutta pretty much. Yeah. So the Mula Pariyaya Vaka, now this is kind of, you know, you could, you know, you could pull out any sutra from anywhere and read. one of the things I keep actually teaching people is now there are actually 3 levels of knowing in the Buddhist text. 3 levels of knowing. These actually come from this sutta, the Mula Pariyaya Sutta, the middle length discourses. And the Buddha actually says about Asutava Putujjano, and sort of ordinary Putujjana. There is a word, and make a note of this word. Yeah, and Sanjanati. Yeah, Sanjanati. And then the Buddha actually goes on to say, and the stream enterer, sorry. Yeah, stream enterer, there's a different word. It's actually Sanjanati. And then where is the other one? Yeah. Now in this sutta, the Seikha, there's another word called Abhijanati. Yeah. Bhikkhu, bhikkhave, bhikkhu. Now there are actually three ways of knowing. Let me actually write them down for you. One really can know at 3 different levels. The one level is called Sanjanati. And this is called Putujjana. Putujjana Bhumi, yeah? And okay. Now, this now 3 levels of knowing. Sorry. Okay. 3 levels of knowing. Sanjanati, Abhijanati. Now, it actually comes from Nya. Nya is to know. So all three verbs have ja. That means Nya is to know. Yeah, no. Yeah, so Sanjanati, Abhijanati, Parijanati. you know, so does anybody know what Putujjana is? Putujjana? Who is a Putujjana? Yeah?
The common man.
Common man. Yes, exactly. I mean, this is, translated as kind of an ordinary worldling.
Yes.
That means common man. Yeah, ordinary worldling means common man. Putu means common. Yeah. Putujjana. Jana means man. Yeah. So Sekha, then there is another person. Now there are three people, and the three people's understanding is 3 levels. So Putujjana, that person has a way of knowing, and the sort of knowledge is based on something. But the Sekha's knowledge is different. Abhijanat. Yeah. Do you see a difference now? This is Aseka. Aseka is another word for Arahant. Yeah. Seka is a word for kind of stream enterer. And Putujjana is kind of, ordinary worldling. Yeah. So now these are kind of 3 Pali words, which really comes from that middle length discourses, the first sutra called Mula Pariyaya Sutta. Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, Sanjanati. So the Buddha says, Paඨavi is Paඨavi. What is Paඨavi? Earth. Yeah. Now, do you know 4 elements? 4 elements. Paඨavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Apo is kind of, water, isn't it? Yeah. Tejo is fire. Vayu is wind. Yeah. So those are the 4 elements. Paඨavi, or any of these elements, the Putujjana is just Sanjanati. Sanjanati. Yeah. Yeah. So Sanjanat. Do you have any idea what the difference is? Sanjanati versus Abhijanati versus Parijanati.
Sanjanati mean literal meaning?
Oh, literal meaning is actually, I mean, Janati is Vijanati is to know.
But
It's sort of, so this is kind of ordinary knowing. Ordinary knowing means what? I mean, knowing through the sense basis. Sense basis. Yeah. What are the sense bases?
from eyes, ear, nose, and tongue.
Yeah. The body and mind, right? So now these are the sense bases. If somebody actually knows, I mean, you see, normally people, I mean, us, we know things from what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we, you know, what we feel through the body, and what we also comprehend through our mind, right? So this is kind of knowledge based on senses, sense basis. Now that is kind of either sanjanati or vijanati. You know, this is, you know, ordinary knowing. But then somebody who actually has listened to the Dharma, who really understood the Dharma, that person's knowing is not limited to the sense basis. It has actually gone beyond the sense basis. You understand? Yeah? So, and it's called, you know, abhijanan, abhijanat, seiko. Seeker, who is a seeker? There is actually something called Seika Patipada. Seika Patipada. That is stream enterer, one who actually attained, entered into the Dhamma. Seika. It actually, you know, one who actually undertakes the training, sort of a trainee. You can actually translate this as a trainee. And this arahant is like aseka. Aseka is one who actually completed the training. So that person's knowledge is different again, right? So abhi and pari. Now see sanjanati, abhijanati, and parijanati. Have you heard this before? Now, you know, one can even draw a line here and one could just say, this is lokiya. You know, kind of a worldly level. And this one, this you know, level is called, what do you call it? Sorry.
Is that supramundane?
Yeah, exactly. That's actually going beyond the world. Yeah. So, I sort of skip. What happened next? Okay. So now that is something that is really emerging very clearly. Yeah. So there's a Pali word lo kuttara. Lo kuttara. Loka uttara. It is you know, gone beyond the world. Yeah. Now lokiya is kind of limited to the sixth sense world. Yeah. So now see the Buddha, how he actually defines the level of knowing. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't have your eye, you are limited to just 5 senses. If you didn't have the ear, you know, you are limited to 4. And if you didn't have tongue, you know, you're limited to another. So the you are, I mean, you know, the lokiya is that level of knowing that's called sense, you know, knowing through the sense basis, the putujjana bhumi. And now this is actually the Seika bhumi, where the stream enterer. stream enterers, now the worldview is different. And you know, he sees actually something beyond the sense basis. Yeah? Do you follow me? No?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so in Pali, so the language is very clear here. You know, when you read the sutras, the Buddha actually talks about the level of putujjana, and level of the sekha, and you know, realization. Now, now this is actually where the realization really matters. Yeah. It's like, now you know the story of the elephant and the blind men. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know that story of elephant and the blind men. So these blind men were given the elephant, and you know, the blind men went to touch the elephant, and they were describing the elephant in the way they experience it. Yeah. So that is, you know, that's a partial truth. Actually, it is not even a truth, because so the Pali Sutras can be also read at the level of Sanjanati, level of Abhijanati, or Parijanati. Yeah. So therefore, this distinction between Lokiya and Lokuttara is so important. Now, I draw a very clear distinction here. Now, remember, in our program, yeah, in our program, we just said the distinction between the two. Yeah. Lokiya versus Lokuttara distinction. Yeah. Now the Lokiya, this is kind of worldly. This is Lokuttara. So the sensory knowing and extrasensory, or going beyond the sense, you know, sense world. So nya is the word, you know, janati comes from the nya. Vijanati or sanjanati is that level of knowing, whereas abhijanati, parijanati is a higher level of knowing. Yeah. So the mundane right view. Now the right view, you know, you talk always about in Buddhism, there are many key principles, right? What are the key principles in Buddhism? Yes, many topics. Okay, so there are many topics. So key topics are like, now we're talking about Triratna. Triratna is also a name of a Buddhist order in the Western world. You know Triratna? Yeah. Ratna. What is Ratna?
Gem.
Yeah,
Right?
gem. Precious, something precious. Yeah, gem, jewel. So Buddha is a precious gem. So Dhamma is a precious gem. Sangha is a precious gem, because they they represent a unique level of understanding and take us from a Lokiya, ordinary world, to a different world almost. Yeah. So we discuss in Buddhism, the key words are like Four Noble Truths. Everybody knows Four Noble Truths, right? Yeah. And then you talk about Eightfold Noble Path. And in the Eightfold Noble Path, you have the right view. Yeah, right view. Now, this is called Sammaditthi. And the Buddha says the right view is of two different types. One is Lokiya, and the other one is Lokuttara. What's the Lokiya right? That is the Lokiya, the worldly right view. So simply accepting, good and bad, right and wrong. Yeah. So this is called Kammasakata Sammaditthi. Yeah. Ordinary right view. Yeah. Sammaditthi. Now this is actually, this discussion is found in a Pali sutta called Mahachattarisaka Sutta. Yeah. I have given you all the references. Okay, don't worry about taking. Yeah. So in the Mahachattarisaka Sutta, Buddha divides the right view into two aspects: Lokiya and Lokuttara. So the right, all of these 8 has a worldly one and a, or mundane or supramundane, or Lokiya, Lokuttara. Yeah? Do you follow me? Okay, good. So why do you have to have two type of right view?
No, we don't know where to lead.
Exactly. Yeah, we are already in the world. That's why we have to we have to know the world, and we have to behave in the world that is acceptable, isn't it? Yeah. Otherwise, it will be a chaotic place. Yeah. And so that's what. But Buddhism doesn't stop there. So that's the important thing. Yeah. So all Buddha's messages actually has Lokiya, the worldly side, and the Lokuttara, beyond the world. Yeah. Okay. I think I have brought up too many topics here, so your mind may be just spinning. Yeah, thinking. Yeah, but what I really want to tell you was that anything can be read at different levels. Sanjanati, in the sense, levels of the senses, as we see, as we hear, as we feel, etc. And then it also you can discuss it in the supramundane, going beyond the 6 senses. Yeah? Is that clear? Okay, let's stop for a while and ask. So what is why are we talking about this Lokiya and Lokuttara?
Depending on that, our understanding might be changed, how we understand everything.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is the problem. Now, people talk about mindfulness, don't they? Mindfulness. So they say, oh, what is mindfulness? They say mindfulness is placing the mind in an object. Yeah. Now this is an object and I place my mind in this object. So I'm drinking. Yeah. So, and that is a mindfulness in the worldly realm. Yeah. But the Buddha really didn't stop there. And this is isn't it really interesting? Because you don't really have, now the world is talking about mindfulness, but are they really talking about the right mindfulness? So Buddha talked about the right mindfulness, not just mindfulness. Okay. Do you see where I'm coming from? So for example, let me give you the Pali word. What is the Pali word for mindfulness?
Sati.
Yeah, sati. Sati. Now there is a mindfulness sutta, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anabasati. Anabasati. Satipatthana.
Yeah. Satipatthana, exactly. Sati. Patthana. Satipatthana. Yeah. So sati plus patthana. Actually, this part has actually two types of patthana. Either sati patthana, sorry. Or what is the other one?
Upathana. Upathana.
Yeah, upatthana. Satipatthana or sati upatthana. Now, what do you think? What do you think is the right one? So, what is the best way? What is the right way to understand this word? Is it as satipatthana or sati upatthana?
Sati upatthana.
Sati upatthana. Okay. Yeah. What's wrong with satipatthana?
Satipatthana means we focus to one particular thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Satipatthana means we pay attention whatever like that.
yes. Now, isn't this really, like if you divide this into Lokya and Lokuttara, in the world, what we learn to do is we want to actually we want to establish our attention, pay attention to something, right? Paying attention to this thing. And that is really important, before you are able to come to this, you have to come to this first, isn't it? It's like the right view is of two types, isn't it? Right view is mundane and supramundane. Do you understand? Yeah. So, I mean, there is nothing wrong with taking both of these, satipatthana and sati upatthana. But actually, the Buddha says once you have established mindfulness, it's called upattita sati. Yeah, establish. Yeah, it is already, because first you have to really establish your mindfulness on this. But once you know what this is, and then you come to the second level. Yeah. So, are you with me so far? No?
Yes, properly.
Okay, good. So actually, we don't have to quarrel with mindfulness movement. Yeah, we can say, okay, you guys are doing satipatthana, the ordinary worldly establishing mindfulness. That's fine. So carry on doing that. But but right mindfulness is a little bit more than that. It's kind of mindfulness plus, isn't it? Yeah. So isn't that beautiful? So that's exactly what the Buddha was. When you read the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha says, as you walk, as you talk, as you move about, be aware, establish your mindfulness in the object. But once you has established it, that your sense, you just remember you are in the sensory realm. Yeah. Learn to go beyond that. So it really dropped the penny, doesn't it? Yeah. You don't have to agree with me. I'm actually I'm just trying to understand myself. So what do you think, Venerable Vijitasiri? Yeah, you are the academic, yeah, Sanskritician.
We agree with you, sir.
Oh, you have to agree with me. Yes, okay. No, you don't. Okay, Bhante. Yeah, what do you think? Tofu. What's your view?
Like also agree with you from your point of view.
Yeah. So I mean, we can really, I think there's a really lot of harmony in this, because there are two camps. One camp says, oh, we are not interested in Buddhist mindfulness. Yeah, we want to do secular mindfulness. Okay, we just sort of do secular mindfulness. That's fine, but don't call it right mindfulness. Yeah. The secular mindfulness is wrong if you haven't got the Buddhist insight, and that is called sati sampajanya. Sampajanya that's again big word, because it's accompanied with wisdom. The wisdom here means the supramane, that abhijanati, parijanati. You have really gone beyond the sixth sense world. You have transcended the sixth sense world. I mean, do we have an experience, beyond these six senses? Yeah. we are sort of limited to this sixth sense world. So, and the ordinary worldling always deals with, they accept the world as it comes through the senses. Yeah. But the Buddha says, oh, have you really realized that the six senses are deceiving you? They are not really telling you the exact truth. So you can take that as primary, just for a purpose. Yeah. Atthikayotiva panasa satipachupattita hoti. Just, I'm taking this for a purpose. Yavadeva jnanamattaya. Yeah. Patisati mattaya. To establish mindfulness. I take you to be a person. No, otherwise you can say, oh, I'm a non-entity. I am a non-entity. Yeah, I don't exist. So how do you start your meditation then? Yeah. First you have to accept the cat. Yeah, accept the cat. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. So, but then you have to understand the cat has that experience or sixth sense world. Cat is limited to that sixth sense world. So the Buddha invites the cat to go beyond the sixth sense world. Unfortunately, the cat can't do that. Hopefully we can. Yeah. So yeah, so and this is where the difference is the abhijanati and parijanati. Once you have established it, completed it, you are an all-round enlightened being. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Am I confusing you? That's really what I want to do. I want to confuse you as much as I can. Yeah, this is the Sanskrit way, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, sarva drishti prahana. Yeah. So any questions? Yes.
You talked about the three ways of knowing.
Yeah.
You were starting to also translate the first part of the word, like the sun.
Yes. Yeah.
But the abi and the pari, or the pari.
Oh, that's really good. Yes, that's a good question. Abi means a higher. Abi is higher.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like abhidhamma. Dhamma and abhidhamma. Yeah. Wherever you find the prefix abhi, that means higher. Pari means all round, like complete. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
thanks.
yeah.
And maybe just one more question.
Please, yeah.
Stream enterer, what does that really mean? Because I heard once that it's when I first read it, I thought everybody who starts on the path is almost a stream enterer. But then I heard it's not possible to become a stream enterer. So that confused me.
Oh yeah. I mean, it said the stream here is, now remember, the stream in the Buddhist context is what is the stream? So the word for stream entry is sota panna. So I mean in Zen Buddhism, is it called satori? Yeah, it's sort of similar, satori, like the first step of knowing. Yeah, So sota in the Pali means the stream, right? What is the stream here? It is the Eightfold Noble Path. Yeah. So that is the sota. So one who actually, the person who really now the Sotapanna is the one who has actually entered into the stream. That means entered into the Eightfold Noble Path. But remember, it is the Lokuttara, not the Lokiya one. Yeah, because at the Lokiya level, that is that's right view in being mindful of this thing. Yeah, and it's like accepting the karma and all of that. I mean, so the stream enterer is the one who really entered into the Eightfold Noble Path. That is, in Pali it is called Ariyo Atthangiko Maggo. Ariyo Atthangiko Maggo, eightfold. Ariya means noble. Atthangika is eightfold. Magga means path, right? Ariyo Atthangiko Maggo. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, good. Excellent. Any more questions? Now, actually, this kind of a scheme very nicely, excuse me, very nicely enable us to move from the worldly realm to the, supramundane. Because, the real key sutra is the Mahachattarisaka Sutta. It's 117 in the mid-length discourses. Yeah. So Mahachattarisaka Sutta. So the Buddha actually very clearly, anything I say, I give references to. I don't want to kind of make claims without evidence. So in the Mahachattarisaka Sutta, the Buddha actually makes a very clear distinction. Right view is of two types: mundane right view and the supramundane. And the mundane right view, he explains what it is, and the supramundane, what it is. So the same thing really applies to right view, right intention, right speech, right livelihood, right action, right meditation, or right mindfulness, and right right stillness or concentration. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. So now we don't have to contradict the Buddha because he has already said, already given. He's already said, look, as long as you are in the world, try to adhere to the, world before you go beyond. Yeah. Okay. Isn't that nice? Yes. Very good. Very good. Any more questions, Viji?
I'm not sure about this. I just want to ask you whether it is correct that I got that, Dr. Sunil. So
Yeah.
this is regarding Abhijanati. It's
Uh-huh.
like now, as to Sanjanati, it's just looking at something and see it is like an object, whatever we see. And when it comes to Abhijanati, is that understanding on whatever we see, we are understanding it from our second thought, or is that
Very good
the
question.
one?
Yeah. So your question is kind of what is called epistemological question. Like, how do you know from which faculty what you know is, where it comes from. Yeah. So basically, I think it's a really good question. And the Buddha gives us a really good answer. Yeah. He's a smart person, really, really smart. There's a sutta called Unnabha Brahmana. Are you familiar with that? Let me write that down for you. It's we're going to discuss. So what I'm really trying to do is to kind of interest you a little bit. I want, for you to sort of develop some interest in the Dhamma, so that when we read Pali, we read the right way and the right suttas. So Unnabha, that's the name of the Brahmana, Unnabha. Yeah. So this Brahmin asked the Buddha few questions. One day he comes to the Buddha and he says, "Oh, who is the boss of the five senses?" So what are the five senses? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body. Yeah. Who consumes these five faculties? And the Buddha says, mind. So then now you have an answer. Mind is the boss of the five senses. Now no matter through which faculty you experience something, the mind is the one who really knows it, isn't it? Yeah. So I will, until the mind tells me, oh, this is a cup, I won't know. My eye, I mean, if I'm on anesthesia, for example, my mind is gone, or sort of suspended, and my eye is open, would I recognize this? Probably not. Yeah. So therefore, you have to have an eye consciousness to understand. So that consciousness is the mind itself, isn't it? Yeah. So the Buddha gives the right answer. The mind is the boss of the five senses. And then he asks the question, who is the boss of mind? And the Buddha gives the answer. What's the answer? Sati is the boss of mindfulness, is the boss of the mind. Yeah. And then he asks, oh, who is the boss of mindfulness? And the Buddha says, insight, insight is the, the mindfulness can experience something, but until the wisdom tells you, you would know. And then he asked, who is the boss of the insight? He said, the boss of insight is letting go, vimukti, yeah? And then he asked, who is the boss of vimukti? And the Buddha says, Nirvana is the boss of vimukti. Okay, what is nirvana? You know, letting go completely, yeah? So, and then he asked, who is the boss of nirvana? he said, you have overstepped the mark. There is no boss. So now that's a really, really interesting, sutta, and we have to actually Unnaba's story. So here you have the 5 senses, and the 5 senses, the boss of the 5 senses is the mind. And the boss of the mind is mindfulness. And the boss of mindfulness is insight. And the boss of insight is vimukti, or letting go. And the boss of letting go is nirvana. Yeah. Now this is really interesting, because the mindfulness here is bigger than the mind. Okay. So therefore, usually in the ordinary mindfulness, mindfulness is actually not bigger than, mind is bigger than the mindfulness. So it's actually done the other way around, right? So mind and mindfulness. So when you say satipatthana, what you do is you establish that awareness inside the mind. And then you take the mindfulness outside. Do you understand? Yeah? So therefore, now this is a very interesting piece of evidence. So the mindfulness, now this is like satipatthana. Whereas this is sati upatthana. Yeah. So this is lokuttara, whereas this is lokiya. Yeah. So now what is the answer to your question? Did you get the answer to your question? No.
I think so.
Yeah. What is the, yeah, you tell me. Yeah. What's the answer to your question then?
We understand from mind consciousness.
Yeah.
And it should be developed further.
Exactly. Yeah. So in a way you use the manasikara, you use the mind to establish or sharpen your awareness. But once it is established, it is taken over by a higher level of mindfulness. Now that is what the Buddha called right mindfulness. Is this a wrong mindfulness? Yes, in relation to this, yes, but that's, you need that. It's just like this, it's like, yeah, like a springboard, you need the springboard to jump into something, but you're not swimming on the springboard, it's just, isn't it? So when you actually build a house, you have the scaffolding. Why do you put the scaffolding? You put the scaffolding just to get the house built. But once it is built, do you need the scaffolding? No, just you get rid of it, right? So it's something like that. So yeah, so the same thing, like when you build a lintel, the lintel is one which gives the support to some sort of a structure. And what you do is you build a wooden frame for the concrete, but once the concrete is all done, you take the wooden frame out. Yeah. So therefore the worldly mindfulness is important. It is important to the extent that it really helps us to jump up. But once you jump up, you don't need that. Yeah, you don't need to carry on that. So this is actually very clearly shown in the Satipatthana Sutta. Yeah. We will be reading some parts of Satipatthana Sutta and really clearly seeing this dichotomy, this distinction between the worldly versus, supramundane. Yeah, but that's a really good question, Vijay. Yeah. Okay. We have 5 more minutes to go. Any further questions? I'm sure, Venerable. So are you feeling sleepy now? Are you? No. No. He never says no. He does this, yeah? Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's very kind of you. But you don't seem to be sleepy at all, Bhante. Yeah? Okay, any questions? Yeah.
Thank you so much for the very nice explanation, Dr. Sunil.
Oh, you're welcome. But you will see more evidence later on when we see the sutras. Yeah. So I actually I started a kind of, well, there's a very big debate at the moment with the mindfulness, like academics fighting. They're saying that the mundane right, the mindfulness is wrong and blah blah blah. But this is actually very well explained when you read the Pali Sutta. This is why you really need to read the Pali Suttas with a special attention, because the Buddha always carries us from where we are. He's not going to, he's not like a God, like lifting you up. I'm actually saving you. I lift you up and, take you to the nirvana straight away. Okay. No, he doesn't do that. He takes us from where we are, make us actually, walk through the stages, isn't it? Yeah, this is why Buddhism is like a shopping list. There's a 3 of these, 4 of these, 5 of these, 7 of these, 8 of these. It's very much like a shopping list, isn't it? Yeah. So so you came from Vietnam all the way to learn a shopping list, yeah? So very good. Any more questions? Oh, our guru is here. Yeah, he's going to do some blessing for us and disappear again, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So okay. So if you have no other questions, we will do. We'll do a little bit of. We do some chanting, not just for the sake of chanting, but for understanding. Yeah. Could you chant something from the Dhammacakka Pavattana Sutta, Bhante?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's always ready. Now, this is something so good about the monks, just always ready. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, because see, they learn the sutras by heart. This is really the important part of the monastic life, because when you are very young, you just learn them by heart, and so therefore you don't really need to even look at the text. And people are now talking about how did this how this Buddhism or Buddhist teaching pass through 2,500 years, like it's a long time, so but they came from a tradition. This is so very well studied, very well. There are no actually. If you really read the sutras, you see that there are different sutras belonging to different ages, but you can analyze the text and understand which is which. Yeah. Okay. Over to you, Bhante.
Okay. My favorite word is Dhammacakka Sutra. Always I'm chanting this Pali words. Okay.
Wonderful.
Etang Bhagavata Varanasiyang Isipatani Migadaye Anuttarang Dhammacakkang Pavattitang Appativattiyang Samanenava Brahmanena va devena va marena va brahmana va kena chiva lokasmin like that.
Wow, wonderful.
Nice time to listen. Dhammacakka.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now 11,
Yes.
the proper time, Dhammacakka.
This
Yeah.
is exactly. This is the real time to chant Dhammacakka.
Yeah.
This is my this is our magazine.
Okay.
Our professor in there. This page, investigation of Dhamma.
Oh.
Over there, you see.
Oh, wow. Can you do
Yeah.
you have a digital version of that?
Yeah. You see? Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
This is
So can you actually email us the digital version, Bhante?
okay, sir. I can do it.
Oh, that'd be really kind. That'd be lovely. So anyway, folks, I don't want to keep you on screen for far too long, 2.5 hours. Yeah, hope you are not tired. Yeah. So, that cat even didn't say meow even once, Nice. Very good.
Because he's staying in mindfulness.
Yeah. Because he's practicing mindfulness, and not just mindfulness, lokuttara mindfulness. Yeah.
Yeah, Laku Antara.
You lokuttara. Yeah. Okay. So lovely to see you, Bhante's friends. Very good. So I'm actually going to be in Sri Lanka on the 21st, Tuesday. But I will be connecting from there. So there is no interruption to the class. Hopefully, if there is a power cut or anything like that, I will let you know. Okay. So I will try my best to, because hopefully, I mean, by this time there is no power cut. Yeah, it's a kind of middle of the night.
Yes. No power
Yes.
cut.
Okay.
10:30.
There's no power cuts at the middle of night.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah. That's one good thing. Usually it's early in the afternoon, evening, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
7, 8 o'clock.
Okay. So thank you so much. See you all next Tuesday then. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Once Saranai, have a safe journey, Dr. Sunil.
So may the
Ah,
triple
Thank
J
you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Micah. Take care.